Right. So I think last class we discussed on the operators, conditional operators, right? So today we'll discuss on the other set of operators. So Boolean operator is nothing but it has two values, true or false. Sorry, Boolean operators will have and or operations, something like this. And okay, this is called and operator. It checks if all the conditions, all the inputs are true. Then the result will be true. If any inputs are false, then result is false. Next, or this is called or operator. Checks if any of the input is true, then result will be all the inputs are false, then result is false. Observe carefully here. So let me take something like this. X equal to true. Okay. Variable y equal to true. Then variable z is equals to x or y, right? X or y. So I'm saying variable x has a value as true, variable y has a value as true. Now what I'm doing, I'm declaring another variable called z. Okay. Then in that case, I'm saying the right side is operation. What operation? X or y. So R is an operator. It checks if any of the input is true, then the result will be true. So here X or Y means true or true. Any of the input is true, the result will be true. So in case of R, any of the input is true. So X, either X or Y. If any of the input is true, the result will be true. Okay. So now Z will be true. So Z is equals to true. Getting it? Now, for example, similarly, and okay, variable R is equals to X and Y. So this is called AND operator, where it checks all the inputs are true. All the inputs are true, then result will be true. If any of the input is false, then result will be false. So something like this. True and true. The result is true. So R is equals to true. Clear? Now, for example, let's take the other way. Say false. X is false. Okay? X is false. So now I have a variable as Z, and I'm saying X or Y. So R Y, X or Y. So X is false or true. Okay? Y is true. So the result is, so since it's an OR condition, any of the input is true, then result will be true. Getting it? So Z is equals to true. Now, take this case. Variable R is equals to X and Y. X and Y means X is false and true. So result is, so the result is, so what does AND talk about? Checks all the inputs are not. Checks if all inputs are true or false. Okay, if it is true, then only result will be true. So, but here, one of the input is false. One of the input is false. So result will be false. Right? So R becomes false. Right? Now, for example, everybody understanding? Understanding is any questions? Next. So I'm taking X as false, Y also false. Right? Taking X as false, Y as false. Now check for R. So variable Z is equals to X or Y. That is false or false. Okay. So now R talks about checks if any of the input is true, then returns true. All inputs are false, then returns false. So here all inputs are false. So result will be false. Right? Next. So next, x and y, that is false and false. So when both inputs are false, at least one of the input is false, then and will return the result as false, right? So this is how the Boolean operator, that is and or works. Okay. Next, increment or decrement. First, we'll talk about increment. Increment. Increment is nothing but increasing the value by one. Okay. Increasing the value by one. Okay. Increment means increasing. Decrement means decreasing. Decreasing the value by one. Okay. So that means it is denoted with plus plus, is denoted with minus minus. So example. So variable x equals to 100. Getting it? Variable x equals to 100. Then x plus plus. So x plus plus means increment. Incrementing x value. Incrementing x value. So 100 is the value present in the x variable. So I want to increment the x value. So it is 100 plus 1 becomes, okay, becomes 101. Getting it? So now x becomes 101. So we are incrementing x value. So x now becomes 101, 101. Right? Similarly, decrement. Variable x equals to 100. X minus 1 is, right? So it says 100 minus 1 is equals to 99. So we are decrementing the value present in the x. So that's nothing but x is now becoming 99. Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
So now, so we talked about the variables and then operators, right? So next we'll talk about conditions. Okay. So we'll start with if. Conditional statements. If, okay. If else, nested else if, So these are the conditional statements. So first we'll talk about if. Is used to check the condition. If condition is true, then block of code within the if operation will be executed. Okay, is used to check the condition. If the condition is true, then block of code within the if condition will be executed. So observe carefully. So syntax. Syntax for if condition block of code. Getting it? So this is what the syntax. If condition, then block of code. So now you'll write the syntax this way. So if you want to check some condition, so you'll use if and then write the condition using the above operators, right? And then you will write some piece of code within the block, if block. So within curly braces, you'll write the code. So let's take some example. So variable x equals to 100. Okay, variable x equals to 100. Now, if so, I'm writing if conditional check. So if x equal to 100. If x equal to 100, then if x equal to 100, then print result is 100. Okay. So we are taking variable values, variable x value is 100. Now we are using. So we are using if in order to check the condition. So if x equal to 100, that means equality. We are checking the equality. So is x equal to 100? So what is the value of x? 100. So we are checking the value equality. So if x equal to 100, then block of code. So this is the block of code. So print result is 100, right? So now this syntax will be executed. Now, for example, in this case, so x is actually 100, but the condition is checking if x equal to 10, right? So in this case, the condition will return false. False. In that case, this block of code will not be, this block of code within if will not be executed. Any questions? Understood?
Yes, sir.
So if else, is used to check the condition. If conditions return true, then block of code within if will be if condition returns false, then block of code within else will be executed. Okay. So if else. So here above we use just if, but next will be if and else. Both will be used. So observe carefully. The syntax. So if condition block of code else block of, right? So if this is for if condition and then else. So now first syntax will execute from top to bottom. So first if will be checked. If the condition returns true, then this block of code will be executed. If the condition returns false, then control goes to else block, and then this block of code will be executed. Getting it? If condition is true, first block will be executed. Otherwise, else block will be executed. Understood, everybody?
Yes, sir.
So let's take some example. So variable variable x equals to 200. If x equal to 200 or 220, then print x is 20, else print x is 40. X is 200. So if x is, just a moment, right? So if x is equal to 20, then print 20. right? So for example, I'm taking value as 200 for the variable x. Now I'm comparing the value. So if x really equal to 20, condition checks. If the result is true, but result will be false here because x is not 20, x is 200. Now, so the condition will be false. So control goes to the else case. Then this syntax will be executed. Block of code of else will be executed. Getting it? So if the condition is true, directly this block will be executed and then this will be ignored. Else will be ignored. Getting it? So else will execute only when this condition is failed. Now, for example, I'm saying x equal to 200. So if x equal to 200, so condition returns true, and then this block of code will be executed. So that is x equal to 200. X is 200. Now, in this case, since the if is returning true, the control doesn't go to else. Control doesn't go to else. Getting it? Right? So that's about the if and else. If, else, if. So if, else, if, else. Okay. This is used to check condition. If condition is true, then block of code within if will be executed. If condition is false, then else if condition will be checked, and if returns true, then in case else if condition returns false, then block of code within else will be executed. So first is, so it will be something else. right? So this is what the syntax is. If condition, else if condition, and then else condition, right? So, so if the condition, first condition, first the control goes to if, okay? Condition will be checked. If the condition returns true, then this block of code will be executed and next lines will not be checked. So these lines will not be checked because already condition is true here itself. Getting it? So in case if the condition is failed here, if the condition is false in the if, then control goes to else if. Control goes to else if block. Here again, the condition will be checked for the else if. If the condition returns true, then this block of code will execute. Getting it? If the condition is true, this block of code will execute. If the condition is false, and finally control goes to else, and then this block of code will be executed finally. So first this will be checked. The condition is true, then the block of code will execute. In case if it is false, control goes here, else if, then condition will be checked if it is true, returning true or not. If it is true, block of code will execute. Else, if the condition is returning false, then control goes to else case and the block of code will be executed. Is that clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
So, example, say x equals to 100, or I'll say a is equals to 45. Okay, so if age less than 12 years, 12, so I can say 10, age less than 10. So print print category is children. Okay, it is less than 10, category is children. Else if age greater than 10, greater than or equal to 10, and age less than 18, consider category as teenagers. Okay. Else print category as, we say, majors. Getting it? So you see here, I'm giving a variable, I'm declaring a variable as age of a person. So now, based on this age, the category will be outputted. So for example, if age of a person, right? So in this, what I'm doing, I'm using if, else if, and then else. So if age is less than 10, then condition will be checked, right? So, but here age of a person is 45, but here age check done with the value called 10. So 45 less than 10, condition failed. Condition failed. Then this block will not be executed. Next, control goes to else if. Control goes to else if. So age greater than or equal to 10. So what is the age now? So 45, right? 45 greater than or equal to 10, condition true. And age less than 18. So 45 less than 18. So we are using AND operator here. Getting it? AND operator behaves this way. Any of the input is false, result will be false. Any of the input is false, result will be false. So one of the condition is true, but the other condition is false. So totally this entire condition will return false. So again, else if also return false, and this syntax will not be, block will not be executed. Now, when these two, if and else if, are failed, control goes to else. Okay. Finally, this will be printed. Getting it? Finally, else block will be printed. So the result is category as majors. Getting it? Category is major. The teenager category is major. So for example, I'm saying age is 16. Okay. Age is 16. So again, check for this code. So if age less than 10, no, 16 cannot be less than 10. So this condition failed, right? So block of code, this block of code will not be executed. Next, checks for else if age greater than 10, 16 greater than or equal to 10, condition true. And then age less than 16, that is 16 less than 18. This is also true. So this condition is satisfied. Then this block of code will execute. Getting it? So category is teenager. That will be the result. So person with age 16 is a teenager. This will not be executed again. Only one of the condition will be executed. So from top to bottom, the execution will happen in JavaScript. Getting it? So based on the age, here the script is going to check and return the result. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Everyone clear? All these concepts are very, very important. Without these, you cannot learn the scripting in ServiceNow. Okay. So you should understand them very clearly. Any doubts, guys, so far?
No, sir.
Others, Mahesh, Deepika, Shivshankar.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So next is nested else if. So nested else if means, so it will have multiple else if. Multiple else if. Nested means multiple. Okay, multiple else if. Here it is only having one else if. So in case of nested else if, we have multiple else ifs. So syntax, same syntax. Sorry, please. Else also should be there. So like this, any number of else ifs can have. So carefully check here. So first I'm writing if condition block of code. Next else if condition block of code. Likewise, so on. Multiple else ifs. You see here. Finally else. Okay. Now example. Remember only one thing. If one condition fail, control goes to next condition. If that condition fail, control goes to another one. Likewise, whichever the condition is true, that particular block of code will be executed and remaining all are ignored. Getting it? Say variable age and we'll take age only. Okay, age variable age. So if age less than 2 years, so block of code. So say print infant. Okay, infant else if age greater than 2 and greater than or equal to 2 and age less than Well, so print children. Okay. Or you can say, yeah, children should be fine. Age greater than or equal to 12 and age less than 18. Inside all cells. Else if age greater than or equal to 18 and age less than or equal to 60. It's the adults. Else. Right. So here we are using nested else if. So multiple else ifs here. Getting it? So multiple else ifs based upon the use case. So I'm declaring a variable as age. So you can initialize the age with some value 67, right? So now observe carefully. So now the script or the syntax is going to check the age of a person and decide under which category that aged person belongs to. So if the age is 2, less than 2, then the person comes under infant category. Getting it? If age is greater than 2 and less than 12, so I'm considering the aged person as children. If age is greater than 12 or equal to 12, less than 18, I'm considering the aged as adolescents. If age is greater than or equal to 18, less than 60, less than or equal to 60, considering as adults. Okay. When all these conditions fail, finally I'm considering as senior citizens. Getting it? So if age is 67, so age less than 2, condition failed. Age greater than 2 and less than 12, condition failed. Condition failed. Condition failed. Finally, it executes this block of code, senior citizens. So if age is 45, for example, okay. So this first condition failed, second condition failed, third condition failed. At last, fourth condition, true. Age greater than 18, yes. And age less than 60, yes. Both conditions are true. So put and here. So output will be execution of this syntax block of code, that is adults. Output is adults. Getting it? So this way you can use nested else if to check multiple conditions. Clear, everybody? Any doubts so far?